Now we are with technology, so even the speech is written on WhatsApp. Seriously. I've been tasked to introduce one of our key speakers, Tun, and he came from a long way. And you know that the jam in Malacca is so horrible. Tengku was stuck. She came at, I think, you all came about 12. Where, yes, left at 12, just arrived. That's Malacca Jam. You'll love to visit Malacca, historical Malacca, for good food. Hope you'll have good food here later. Anyway, to introduce our speaker, Tun Dr. Mahathir does not require much introduction, but to set the tone right, he's called here today to speak as the founder of Perdana Global Peace Foundation. Okay, that was in 2005. You all, of course, know him as our former Prime Minister, the fourth Prime Minister. And he was our Prime Minister for 22 years. I'm not too sure, but I think this would be a first time for you attending a bar initiative. Yes, and we are grateful that you are able to come here today to talk about peace. And it's, I think, a topic that we all can agree to and we can share to everyone out there. Now, what is it all about, this Perdana Global Peace Foundation? The foundation is actually an anti-war initiative and has a single goal of putting an end to war by encouraging dialogue between different nations, people and organizations to foster and energize global peace. Without further ado, I invite you.
Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone. I must admit that I'm not very often invited by the bar. Since I don't drink also, I don't think about it. But here I am invited by the Malacca Bar to talk about peace. And I would like to take this opportunity to explain the reason for setting up the Perdana Global Peace Foundation. And we all know that all over the world there are organizations dedicated to peace. Everybody wants peace. You know, the Muslims, when they greet each other, they say, Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be upon you. And the Jews, when they meet each other, they say, Shalom. And Shalom means peace also. Why are these two people living practically as neighbors? Why did they adopt peace as a means of greeting? It is because they have never had any peace. You know, in China, when you meet each other, what do you say? Have you eaten? Because in China before, there were many famines. And sometimes people don't have enough food to eat. And therefore, to be able to eat is a great thing. So we wish you have had a good meal. Have you eaten is a form of greeting. And I'm told that in Osaka, the Japanese greet each other with the word, how's business? Because it's all about business. They want to do business and make money for themselves. But But peace has eluded us. It has not been able to last very long. We fought 2 world wars in order to abolish wars. 2 world wars. And we killed 70 million people, hoping that after killing 70 million people, there would be peace. But there is no peace. After the First World War, 20 years later, there was another war. A bigger war, a longer war, with more people killed, because we are constantly devising new ways of killing people efficiently. You know, the research and development that they have been doing on weapons. They spend huge sums of money creating new weapons in order to kill people. And that's what they are doing, and they call themselves civilized. How would you feel if you take a walk on the street in Malacca, somebody comes to you and kills you? And you ask, why do you kill me? Why do you kill this man? I don't like him. You wouldn't feel safe, would you? I don't think you would feel safe. But in the world, in the community of nations of this world, it is fine for you to declare war on another nation and then bomb them to smithereens. Or people, everybody will be killed by the thousands, because we are now much more efficient. In the good old days, they had spears, they had swords, they had war horses, and they had lances. The capacity to kill was very minimal. But today we are much better. We are more civilized. We are much cleverer at killing people. Do you think that is civilized? I don't think it is very civilized. When you kill one person, you will be accused of murder. You will be tried, found guilty, and hanged. But when you kill 1 million people, you will be glorified. They will give you medals, erect a statue for you, and in the history books they praise you sky high because you have killed 1 million. There's something wrong, I think. There's something wrong about our thinking. You kill one person is wrong, you kill 1 million is wonderful. That is why we set up the Perdana Group Peace Foundation. Our aim is slightly different. We want to establish peace, but we want to establish peace through the law. The law must regard wars as a crime, as criminal, to criminalize war. That was the objective of the Perdana Global Peace Foundation. We want people to think of war as a crime. Why shouldn't it be a crime? You kill one person, it's a crime, but when you kill 1 million people, it must be 1 million crimes. Something wrong with us. When we kill 1 million, we don't consider it a crime. So the Perdana Global Peace Foundation wants to spread the word around the world that war is a crime. Why is it a crime? It's because it kills people. But today we don't just kill people. We destroy whole countries. In the good old days, they fight wars on battlefields. One group of soldiers here, the army there, and they fight each other. Soldiers against soldiers, kill each other, of course. And then one side perhaps gain victory, and that's the end of it. These are soldiers fighting soldiers. I suppose they cause a lot of damage too. But they do this on the battlefield. Today, the whole is a battlefield. The whole country is a battlefield. When Bush decided to invade, shock and awe the Iraqis, he considered the whole of Iraq as a battlefield, and it is legitimate for him to drop bombs and rockets and whatever on any part of the country, not on battlefields, because the whole country is a battlefield. You drop bombs, you fire rockets, and you do all kinds of nasty things, and you kill whom? Not just soldiers. You kill everyone. Babies, pregnant mothers, sick people, people who are incapacitated, innocent people, people who had no wish to kill anybody, all of them are blown to bits. So that is modern warfare. It is modern warfare because our capacity to kill and destroy is much bigger than before, and we are very proud of it, and we can then claim that we are the victors or the losers. But what does it achieve? We are looking at Iraq today, Syria today. Look at that. Do you like that to happen in Malacca? Bombs exploding here and there. Malacca becomes a battlefield. Nobody wants it. And yet they do it. They do it because they think they can achieve something. But they don't achieve anything. The last great war was fought between the Allies on one hand and the Axis on the other hand. The Allies were represented by the British, the French, and the Americans, and the Axis was represented by Japan and Germany. Well, the Allies won. Great celebration. But you look at today's world, who is rich? Is it the Allies or the Axis? I think Germany and Japan has done better after the war than the Allies. So what had the Allies, the victors gained? Nothing. Okay, we reduce it to a smaller scale. Look at the invasion of Iraq by America. Shock and awe. This is the way Bush wants the war to be fought. To shock people and to create fear among people. Oh, it's a great thing to be able to shock people and create fear. So tigers can do that too. They can give you a shock and create a great fear. But Bush, of course, doesn't have any stripes. So he's not a tiger. But he wants to be like a tiger. I want to shock and create fear among the Iraqis. For what? Yes, it was explained just now for nothing. Weapons of mass destruction, which Saddam Hussein had. He didn't have. But look at the destruction that he wrought on Iran. The place had a lot of historical things. All were destroyed. People were destroyed. People were killed as they walk on the streets. And then after 10, they were going to finish the war in 3 months. Bush said 3 months is enough. We have the great power. We have powerful weapons. But it took them 10 years and they haven't won anything. Today, Iraq is in a worse shape than when it was under Saddam Hussein. Today, where before under Saddam Hussein, there was no fight between the Sunnis and Shia. Today, the Sunnis and the Shia are fighting each other, killing each other. And Iraq, which once was a showpiece in the Arab world, a very advanced country in the Arab world, not many of them, but Iraq had done a good job. Today, it is in the shambles. The country is destroyed. There is no peace. Nobody is safe. You might be walking or you might go to the market. Somebody might blow up a car and you go to Kingdom Come. That's what happens. So what has war achieved? Nothing. Nothing at all. And at what cost? It seems that America spent more money fighting in Iraq than it spent in the Second World War. I can believe that because I know during the Second World War, a fighter plane would cost 1 million ringgit, $1 million. Today, a fighter plane costs 200 million ringgit. Huge sums of money. Wonderful technology. Built for what? For killing people. It's a waste. And in the end, you achieve nothing. Is there democracy in Iraq? There's no democracy. Is there peace? There's no peace. So why do you fight? What for? Why do you kill people? Why do you destroy the country? It's not for peace. It is because you are not civilized. Basically, we are not civilized yet. If we still believe in killing people to solve our problem, we cannot be civilized. We have laws in all countries which says that if you kill a person, that is murder, you will be hanged. Oh, no. You mustn't have capital punishment. It's bad. Hanging one person is bad. But killing a million is okay. Don't you think there's something contradictory in our value system, our way of thinking? Can we ever reach a stage where people reject war? When we say that war is a crime, some people told me, well, how can it be a crime? We have been fighting wars for 7,000 years. It cannot be a crime. Who said that? You wouldn't know. That's what Soros told me. I asked Soros to join me in making war a crime because he was against Bush. But he would like to say that we have been fighting wars for the past 7,000 years. We cannot do without wars. So, it's illogical. But, look again. There are many things which before were permitted, but is now a crime. One example, slavery. Before, everybody had slaves. You know, the Americans captured a lot of blacks, took them over to America, and they were slaves laboring on the farms in America. And they were treated almost as if they were not human, that they were animals. They were owned by the great estate holders. But people somehow or other got around to feeling that slavery is wrong. To make a person like your property, to make him work and to ill-treat him, that is wrong. And the idea that slavery was wrong began with the slave trade. William Wilberforce, a member of Parliament in England, campaigned to make slave trade, not slavery. Slavery is okay. But William thought that slave trade was not human and it should be stopped. Do you know how the slaves were transported from Africa to America. They were put at the bottom deck of the boat, and then they had to lie there. If they pass anything out, they lie in the dirt and urine and whatever. And some of them became ill and died. And what do you do with the dead people? Well, throw overboard. There are always sharks. Sharks keep the world clean. Just imagine if they don't eat all these slaves. You see them floating around. So the slave trade was a very cruel trade where the slaves were badly treated. And this got to the conscience of William Wilberforce. And he moved promotion in Parliament. It took 20 years before Parliament finally decided that the slave trade was a crime. It took 20 years for them because it was very profitable. Today also the Rohingyas are being sold. It's also profitable. If you cannot sell them, then you can bury them. That's happening today. But the slave trade was a great trade before, and there were great traders, made tons of money, transporting these blacks across the Atlantic to America. It was cruel. It was terribly cruel, and it was wrong. It was made a crime. But slowly, people began to think that slavery is wrong. People should be paid for their services. They should be free. If they want to stop working with you, they should be allowed to. They should not be owned by people. And so slavery, which was accepted as legal, as right, as proper, became something that was regarded as a crime. And to this day, we regard slavery, no second thoughts. We say slavery is a crime. We don't allow for slavery. But there are still some slave trade going on, but it is illegal. Now, if you can make slavery and the slave trade illegal, why cannot you make war illegal? War is more terrible. Modern war is more terrible than slavery. You see what happens. During war, it's all right to capture people, put them in cages, ill-treat them in Guantanamo Bay and in other places. That's war. War brings out the beast in us, the animal in us. Where before you would not think of killing anybody, but in war you not only kill, you are very cruel. You become very cruel. You remember the Japanese when they invaded Malaysia, they had no compunction about chopping off your head. It was war. During war you kill. How you kill doesn't matter. You can blow up the person, or you can chop off his head, or you can stab him. I lived through one world war. I remember the Japanese when they came in Alostar. Two British soldiers, young soldiers, were 18 years old, tried to hide. One in the theater, one on the river bank. They were found by the Japanese, and they were just kicked down and then stabbed with the bayonets and thrown into the sea, into the river. They think nothing of it. To kill like that was permissible because it's war. If you do it now, they will arrest you. They will put you on trial. They will say you're guilty and you will be hanged. is a crime. You see how horrible war is. You see on the TV screen practically every day the destruction caused by war. Whole towns and cities were leveled. People today are running, refugees. The Europeans are experiencing a flood of refugees. They call it a flood of refugees, but actually it's only 200,000. In Turkey, they have 2 million refugees coming from Syria. Why are they running away from their homes? It's because of war. And this war is being encouraged by people who are supplying arms, money and training for the people who rose against Bashar, the president of Syria. And he's fighting back. Oh, he's very cruel. He's bombed many places in Syria and all that. He's very cruel. But think of Gaddafi. When he was captured, did they kiss him and say hello and all that? They killed him. Bashar knows that if he loses this war, there will be no mercy for him. They will kill him. So, that is what war is all about. That is why we started this idea that we should criminalize war. When we say we should criminalize war, who should be regarded as the criminal? Obviously, the people who start the war, the aggressors. If you invade Malaysia, Malaysia will have to fight a war. But that is a defensive war. But if Malaysia decides to invade Singapore, of course Singapore will not think much of that. Then Singapore will have to fight us because they have to defend their little island. So, defensive war is permissible. Aggressive war is a crime. And the people who start the war, not the soldiers themselves, but the people who direct the soldiers to go and kill the people in that country, these are the war criminals. People like Bush and Blair. It seems that Iraq has the capacity to send rockets to London within 45 minutes. Iraq has never sent any rockets anywhere. Maybe Billy Raya they might. Excuse like that cannot be accepted because of some story, some rumor. They went to war and they killed people. Don't you think people who send young soldiers to kill other people, don't you think that these are criminals? Those people are killed because these leaders, they send in the war machine and the soldiers to kill other people, to bomb other people. These are killers. These leaders, these are killers. Which is why the Perdana Global Peace Foundation set up a tribunal to try Bush and Blair. Of course, we cannot bring them here, because when people are powerful, they can get away with murder. Well, anyway, I know what you think, but we couldn't bring Bush and Blair to Kuala Lumpur. Kuala Lumpur tribunal to try Bush and Blair, they were tried in absentia. We do things properly. We have a rule for setting up this tribunal. A book, a thick book like that, as to what we can do, what we cannot do. We want to do things properly. It's not a kangaroo court. We just call and say he is guilty. We had rules. We have the defense team. We have the prosecutors, and they stated their case and was argued by the defense to see why these people who kill a few million people are not criminals. Well, it's up to the judges, the tribunal, to decide whether Bush and Blair, we were not biased. The trial was conducted properly. I think Jason was good known because he was one of the ones defending the criminals. I'm glad he lost. And in the end, we found them guilty. Bush and Blair were guilty of war crimes, guilty of killing people, of declaring war on people who have no capacity at all to fight against them. Imagine America, a powerful country, with rockets and nowadays, of course, the latest thing is the drone. Yes, UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. How great fun it was. You just stay in Washington, you just fiddle around with some buttons, and the drone flies over to some country and single out somebody very accurately. But unfortunately, there were some people around that. That's why that's collateral. You want to kill somebody, but those people are nuisance. They were standing there. If they don't get away, you can't blame us if they get killed. So we call them collaterals. That's a new word. They're not human. They're not human. They are just collaterals. So now they are having great fun producing new unmanned aerial vehicles. For what? For killing people. After all that, what do they say? We want peace. Yeah, it's peace of the grave. They kill people and they talk about peace. What peace? They had peace for some length of time. There's peace in Europe. I was just in Bosnia-Herzegovina. You know, it's something that is very odd because it stuck like a sore thumb, and they decided to get rid of Bosnia, and they killed people. And the NATO people were sent there to make sure that the Bosnians were not killed. When they were being slaughtered, they just moved away and let the Serbs slaughter these people. Why? Because it is permissible to kill people in war. At other times you can kill people. Just say it is war, and now I get killed. This is the only country in the world that has in its constitution a provision for no war. And that is Japan. Strange. You know, the people who used to chop off people's head decided that they should have no war. They should have only a defense force. And so for 60 years, they did not get themselves involved in war. But now, of course, they are being persuaded by America that they should go to war. War is great fun. fun, especially when you are holding the gun. I mean, you have the best weapon. It's no fun for people who are weak. There is a great deal of injustice in this world. People talk about justice, about the rule of law. There is no rule of law. I'm aware, I'm talking to a lot of lawyers. Omar is the president of Sudan. He has been found guilty of some crime against humanity. He's found guilty, and if he goes to the wrong country, he may be arrested. So he is very careful. He goes only to countries which would not arrest him. He was in South Africa recently, because the South African say, oh no, he's a bad man, but they made arrangements so that he can escape. But if you find Barack Obama guilty, who's going to arrest him? Anybody here who wants to arrest Barack Obama? You can't. You can't arrest him. Why? Because he's very powerful. So it's not the rule of law that operates. It is might is right. If you are powerful, you can forget about the law. You can make use of the law upside down. If you make a report to the police, you will be arrested. That is the meaning of might is right. We talk so much, and these big countries talk so much about the rule of law. Why do we invade this country? Is to make them democratic and accept the rule of law and equality between people. But you don't have equality with them. To them, you are not equal. The laws do not apply to them. So why struggle to make war a crime if people are going to ignore the law which says that war is a crime? We have to struggle. We hope one day that people will accept that war is a crime. That whoever makes war, he should be tried and found guilty of a crime. We normally don't steal, do we? We don't steal because we are brought up to believe that stealing is bad, is wrong. Not because there is a policeman around, not because of the law. It's not because of the law. You don't steal because you know it is wrong. For the majority of us. The minority sometimes, after sleeping in the hotel, a few towels, sounds as if we have done it. No, but normally, we don't steal. We don't take what doesn't belong to us. Unless, of course, it's donated. Rejects war, and if you have an election in a democratic country and you tell the candidate, are you for war or against war? And he says, I love war. Don't elect him. candidates have manifestos and all that. If we can get throughout the world, because people reject war, if we can have people with that mindset, and war is to them something, is a crime to them, then they will demand that if you want to be a leader of this country, you must reject war, except defensive war. If eventually all the people in all the democratic countries in the world choose leaders who are against war, then you may even have these leaders enacting laws which says that war is a crime. It's going to be a long struggle. It will take years, it may even take a century to make war a crime. But please remember that at one time slavery was legal. After years of struggle, centuries of struggle, it was made a crime. One day, perhaps not in my time, maybe not even in your time, one day there will be leaders in this world